what's really interesting about SpaceX is the dynamic that's there because of all the people that are so devoted to the exploration of space working together under a common roof. And I mean, a lot of times the head of the company will come up with interesting ideas, but then other people in the company will help moderate and shape those ideas so that they're more practical or increase the likelihood that they can be achieved. And then there's other people in the ideas in the company that will come up with ideas and share them with the head of the company, and then he'll shape their approach. But all in all, it's a really good team environment in order to be able to come up with things that can help advance the cause of space exploration. And one of the things that's exciting to me about working at a company like SpaceX is we can be having a senior staff meeting where the topic is performance reviews and what we're getting ready to procure for machinery out in the plant. And halfway through, we'll get into a discussion about what we're going to do to go to Mars. Because the personnel department, the machinery we've got in the plant, all those things are important for someday accomplishing the mission of going to Mars. And so we'll think about the long term in addition to the short term. And it's just really exciting to be at a company where it's okay to talk about stuff like that instead of somebody looking at you like, are you nuts? Going to Mars? I mean, hey, let's talk about the important stuff about how we make sure we get this guy hired, right? No, going to Mars is just as legitimate a topic as how we're meeting payroll at SpaceX. And to me, that's exciting.
I agree. I mean, there's so many, I feel like it should be the other way around, how everyone should have a long-term goal instead of just short-term strategies, pretty much.
Well, I think that's important, but it's also important to have passion. If you look at what happens in the aerospace industry, as companies grow, they evolve and they become more and more about profit. And what started maybe as a small company driven by a passionate engineer or scientist who wanted to accomplish something new becomes a money-making venture that may be a little bit nervous about taking a risk. At SpaceX, we seem to have a pretty high level of passion right now. We want to try to keep that passion in place. That's what it's all about. When you're talking about going to Mars, right? That's passion. Now, some people in the money-making business would go, well, talking about Mars is not really good for helping you make money. I would say it's the opposite. I think companies that stay in touch with their passion continue to create exciting and valuable products, and because of that, they make money. All right. When they lose their passion and concentrate on making money, that's when they start going downhill. And keeping the passion alive in a company is really important, I think.
Keeping the long-term goals in mind. This year, SpaceX has made two major announcements of future projects that are going to be coming out. In your opinion, do you think that it is too soon to be announcing those ideas, or is it just the right time?
You can argue time and forever. I think when you've got a company that's driven by passion, sometimes they just can't hold it back. And so it's going to come out. And the timing could be great, it could be bad, it doesn't matter. That's when it needed to come out. And so that's when the news hits the street, and that's when people get to find out about it.
I can't help, there's many in the space community who felt rather depressed, I guess, about the SLS announcement. And then the week after, the announcement for the Grasshopper reusable, and total shift in change. Just reading forums and different blogs, it's a total shift in attitude. And I think that companies like SpaceX and making announcements like this and achieving milestones and goals is really what is keeping not only the industry but the entire space community of enthusiasts still excited. And I don't know.
Well, that's great. It's interesting. If you look at a project like SLS, people should be able to be excited about that too, because what that's supposed to enable is the capability to get some really big stuff out into orbit. And when you get really big stuff out into orbit, then you can do things like go to Mars or go to the outer planets. You can do really exciting things with it. So it should be exciting. And one of the things that we should ask ourselves is why would would that be less than exciting to some segment of the population? There's a group of people who are tremendously excited about SLS, right? But there's another group that's not, and it's really important to kind of look at that and think why that might be. I mean, I've got some theories on the topic, and it goes back to the whole thing we were talking before about passion, and it also is. Something that happens in really big programs is they try really hard to make things perfectly predictable, and perfect predictability is kind of the opposite of passion sometimes, right? And it actually deflates people and disappoints them, which is really kind of sad, because of the capability to launch huge things off the surface of our planet is going to enable all kinds of exciting missions. But getting to the root of that lack of excitement about a new program like that is really important for us as an aerospace community.